that day, that moment. I stumbled upon a blog with that title one day while wandering the internet, searching for a place to hike. The author was Mr. M, the caretaker of Nyukasa pasture in Nagano Prefecture. He wrote in gentle, unhurried words about the changing seasons, the meadow's creatures and plants, and the small, quiet happenings of each day. In his writing, I sensed a quiet determination to fulfill his role and a kind of graceful resolve, a poised gaze toward the cows, toward nature itself. Then, nestled between those peaceful entries, I came across a notice. The pasture was going to close. Written in the same tone as his usual updates, the words quietly signaled that a way of life was drawing to a close. I couldn't grasp what it meant, not right away. But before I knew it, I found myself thinking, I have to go. This mountain is always teeming with people. In early summer, lilies of the valley paint the slopes white. A profusion of wildflowers comes into bloom, earning this place the name, a treasure trove of flowers. It rises at the northern edge of the Akaishi Mountains, standing 1,955 meters tall. From the summit, the ridgeline of the Yatsugatake Range draws a clean silhouette, and Mount Fuji lingers in the distance, hazy and blue. On a clear day, the ridgelines of the southern, northern, and central Alps roll in like waves from every direction. And yet, to call it mountaineering may be an overstatement. With the gondola, the summit is open to anyone's feet. Mr. M recommended 2 routes on his blog. One is the Teizawa stream, a quiet trail wrapped in the sounds of water, deep within the mountain's folds. The other is the Hokamichi trail from the Ina side. maintained by volunteers, rarely trodden, said to reveal the mountain's hidden face. Considering access from Tokyo, circling through Ina is a bit of a detour. This time, I decided to enter from the Sori trailhead on the Fujimi side. A slight step away from the mountain's busy front gate, through the Nukasa Marsh, then the Ahara Marsh, and finally into Teizawa, the other path Mr. M had recommended. Past the streamside trail, where only water, moss, and wind dwell, I plan to pitch my tent for the night in the camp area of the Nukasa pasture. Not the outer face of the mountain, but a quiet, deep journey into its inner being. That is the kind of journey I long for. I decided to avoid the crowds and not go to the summit. Instead, I continued walking toward the Oahara marshland. The summit bypass trail was quiet. Only the birdsong echoed. The swaying old man's beard gently tells me that the wind is here. A marsh often begins as a shallow pond or lake. Plants take root, and as they die, their remains gradually build up into layers of peat. Over a long period of time, the marsh develops starting as a low moor, passing through transitional stages, and eventually becoming a raised bog. One day, as the water recedes, it shifts its form into grassland or forest. This natural progression can be seen as the marsh is aging its life cycle. The Ahara Marsh on Mount Nukasa stands in the later part of that story. In recent years, water levels have dropped, and signs of grassland formation and bamboo encroachment have appeared along its edges. Near the southern edge of the marsh, as you continue along the trail that circles the marsh, a fork appears leading to Tay Stream. The scenery changed completely. Tay Stream isn't a place that draws people with flashy sights. But precisely because of that, it quietly seeps deep into your heart. The sound of water brushing against the rocks feels like it's dividing time into droplets one by one. I don't think silence means the absence of sound. The silence of Tay Stream is a mysterious kind where sounds exist, yet the heart finds peace. Here, you're gently allowed to enter a time ruled not by human convenience, but by nature's own rhythm. It's not a place many people visit, but precisely for that reason, there are scenes and moments you can only find here. In a fleeting moment, sunlight filters through and lights up the moss like jewels. Beauty that was never meant to be shown to anyone else, but lives here nonetheless. Here, I met Mr. M, who was cutting grass. At the venerable age of 77, He moved with unbelievable agility, carrying a brush cutter, nimbly descending the stream. He was the very person who had recommended Taystream to me. And on the day I actually walked Taystream, it was by the edge of that very stream that I met him in person. He's a bit blunt and doesn't say much. But when it comes to the seasons of Taystream, no one knows it better than he does. The names of the flowers that bloom in this valley, how cold the spring rains were, how much the moss swells in summer, that day too, Mr. M was cutting grass as usual. It's a daily routine, he continues, not for himself, but for someone else. After paying the campsite fee, I greeted Mr. M, who was at the lodge, with a respectful nod. He returned the gesture with quiet warmth and brewed a cup of coffee for me. Tonight, there are only 3 tents. The pasture is scheduled to close, and it seems the cows haven't been brought up this year. In the wide open grassland, there are no cows, no lowing, no jingling of bells. And yet, it feels as if the memory of the cows still walks here. With steaming mugs in hand, we began to speak in fragments. About the pasture, about the lives of the cows. Eventually, the evening light dyed everything in twilight, and our words drifted naturally into the folds of night. There were no stars. The conversation never really ended, even without a campfire. For a 500 yen fee, you can enjoy a rustic open-air bath. On a star-filled night, it must feel absolutely wonderful. Mr. M spoke up quietly. Do you know what percentage of the mammals living on Earth are wild? I thought for a moment and answered, maybe 10%? No. The answer is 3%. That number struck me cold in the chest. I was at a loss for words. Just 3%. Only that small fraction of mammals are still wild. That's why the wild is precious. His voice was filled with unwavering, strong conviction. And among the remaining 97%, what do you think is the most dominant species? Humans? Exactly, he nodded, then continued, Now, what's the second? The answer was cattle. That number carried the pride of a herder who had lived alongside cattle for many long years. And at the same time, there was a quiet anger toward humanity's manipulation of life. An object without purpose, quietly yet powerfully announces the end of the life that once unfolded in that place. Perhaps it is the sense of displacement that evokes a feeling of loss in us. Because it confronts us with a rupture in time, a severance from what once was. "19 years spent with the cattle. Your hands weaving the seasons into time. It was never just labor, but a deep love for the land and for life itself. Even now, as times change, and the pasture quietly draws its curtain closed,